Whoa, in this episode of Food Service Worker, I'm going to be sitting, what would you consider this? Behind my fish tank? In front of my fish tank? Whatever. Anyways, we're going to be talking about 2 times a year that are going to be probably the most annoying for you to work food service in a jail or a kitchen. And I'm going to tell you those 2 times right now. The first one will probably be Ramadan. And Ramadan is no disrespect to any of the people who celebrate Ramadan, but it's more of the annoyance of the fact that if you work in food service, in Department of Corrections, or in a jail facility, and you have these inmates who are on this special day of a diet, which is basically a fasting diet. I don't sometimes know if some of these inmates know what they're signing up to, but they just seem to sign up to it anyways. But anyway, though, so Ramadan, to my understanding, due to my lack of research and all that good stuff, mainly because I do not care about Ramadan, I don't really have anything against people who do the whole Ramadan thing or the other one I'll mention later on, but I just don't care for them. I don't care about a lot of the stuff that these people believe in. You believe in whatever you want to believe in at the end of the day, or whatever you want to eat and all that stuff. It's your freedom of choice. Anyways, that said, though, but from my understanding, Ramadan's supposed to be like a fasting thing. It means that they're only supposed to eat, I believe, twice a day, which means that in a county or jails, prison, they eat twice a day. They eat before the sun comes up, and then they eat, I think it's after the sun goes down. I think it's somebody's supposed to work, maybe it's before the sun goes down. One of the two they have to do. But either way, they have to eat before the sun comes up, and it's either before the sun goes down or before the sun goes, or after the sun goes down. And that's literally all they get to eat all day long. They're not supposed to eat nothing else in jail or prison while they're on Ramadan. Now, I don't know whether there's a true story on this whole thing, but the whole Ramadan thing, there was a story at a place that I worked at that said the inmates told me that one year that they had Ramadan, I guess the chappie decided that he was going to bring stuff in. So they had like a feast after Ramadan was over. I don't know how well that's true or false on that whole thing, but hey, whatever, man, you know. So with that being said, the next one is passing over, and I guess that's like a holiday where not really a holiday, but a special time of year where anybody can sign up for this one. It's kind of ironic because I thought Passover was more of a thingy bubber for whatever religion it was again. But hey, in this place, it was kind of ironic because you had a lot of Muslims that were signing up for Passover as well, and it's like kind of crazy because if I'm not mistaken, I think maybe it's just at some prisons, maybe not all of them, where like you have some of these like real gang member type people that are talking about like Aryan Brotherhood, like Nazi type gangs and stuff that really probably don't care too much for Jews and stuff like that at all, and any other colored gang out there, unless they're into the cahoots with working together to make some bread in prison. You know what I mean? If they're not making bread in prison, chances are they probably don't really care for each other, because that's the only reason I can see them really getting along is if they're working together to make some bread. Because if you ain't making no bread, you probably got no interest in anybody. That's the way I see the whole prison culture anyway. So, but that's not how I see it really where I was at working, just saying. But anyway, though, nevertheless, getting back to the whole Passover thing. So Passover thingy bobber. By the way, that stuff on my finger there is me getting my finger crushed in a door in my job. in prison. So those doors are heavy as heck, and when you have your finger in it, you better hope you don't lose your finger when you get it shut in the door. Those doors are heavy. 800-pound door, shutting in your finger is brutal, bud. Oh, yeah. So anyways, I'm trying not to go off topic here, but I figured I'd mention that because some people are like, "That's poop in your finger, man. Dirty nails, dude." But anyway, so, yeah, so Passover, I'll talk about the meals too. So let me go back, rewind to Ramadan. So this is different, by the way. I want to mention in different facilities. I don't want to just try to say this is how it's going to be at every facility, but the facilities I worked at, I'm going to let you know on how they ran the Ramadan thingy bobber. I'm not trying to get on screen here. We've showed my fish tank enough, you know. So anyways, maybe I'll just stand here and I'll talk to y'all about this good old stuff here. So, for Ramadan, when I worked at 2 locations that did Ramadan, the inmates, they basically had a weird type of thing. Everything, I guess, every place is different maybe when it comes to where these inmates may be incarcerated at. So, for example, at one place, the Ramadan's got something like a regular tray, right? This Ramadan's just got a regular tray, but he just couldn't eat until before the sun came up. And I think after the sun went down. CEOs would come down, get his tray, and bring it back to him. And then we had another Ramadan who was more on the kosher side. So he was more of a kosher Ramadan type person. So he got a kosher Ramadan style meal. And actually what was funny about it is that this one Ramadan that was kosher, he got mad because he wanted a regular tray because the other guy got to have more stuff to eat than what he got to eat. And that's not how it unfortunately works, sadly. When you pick your diet, that's what you're stuck on until you get changed from it. That's the way it's supposed to be, from my understanding. Anyway, though, so that's the way it worked. The Ramadan got a regular tray, and the other Ramadan, who was a kosher, which means that they only eat food that's supposed to be blessed by a rabbi or a peer or whatever you want to call it, holy food, whatever you want to call it, which is more like a TV dinner. They got like a little TV dinner and a little juice and something else. I don't remember what it was. But anyways, that's what they got to snack on. Now it's basically a meal for a kosher, right? So regular tray was just basically whatever the main food was for everybody else in the facility ate, but that person got to eat too. However, he just didn't eat till later, unfortunately. So anyway, then in another facility I worked at, which is more prison style. Prison style is a lot different in a way. County style was about a lot. Like, I look at myself and think to myself, dang man, county has it right, and Department of Corrections fails epically. They make everything harder on themselves than it has to be when it comes to serving their inmates. But it seems like the state is the one that's doing this to themselves. Whereas I'm not sure how the state doesn't involve itself in the inmates' dietary needs for jails in Florida, for example, right? So anyways, we'll look at DOC's Ramadan, right? Because I don't think we really had Passover in the county. I don't remember us having Passover in county. So Passover was kind of new to me. But anyways, we'll look at DOC's point of view on how they prefer to do Ramadan, right? So Ramadans, I gotta remember how Ramadan went down. Where'd they get? So they got breakfast, and they all came down, they all had breakfast, and it was normally like, I don't know, like normal food and stuff is what they ate. And I'm trying to think, I don't even remember, I'll probably think about it later. I can't remember what the Ramadans had. But I can tell you that we'll talk about Passover people. The Passovers, right, are, I guess, supposed to be the Jewish fasting thing that Jews do for maybe something related to the passing of Jesus, maybe, or something. I don't know. I'm uneducated when it comes to this stuff. I really don't care. At the end of the day, I don't care about need to know basis. I just need to know that I need to get this food for these inmates, and that's all I really need to know at the end of the day. I don't really care what they're in there for, or what their what their religious beliefs are, and none of that stuff. So if that offends some people that don't understand their belief structures and stuff like that, I don't care. I don't care about nobody's belief structures, because it don't bother me at the end of the day. So I can tell these inmates, guess what? The chomos, I don't care about them either. You know what I mean? They ain't messing with my kids. They ain't messing with my nieces and nephews. So I ain't got to worry about them. They're your problem at the end of the day. You want to handle your own business? You handle your own business with them. I'm not going to treat them any differently than anybody else in here. They're all going to be treated with the dignity and respect that I deserve to give them, which is professionalism. Okay? Not out there to target them because they're in prison or in jail, and I have the opportunity now to do something to their food. I'm not that type of person. So, thus said, as far as I'm concerned, they're in the right place. If they're a child molester or a rapist, they're in the right place. Justice has been served, so I don't really care no more about that. That being said, I'm getting off topic here, okay? So, the Passover thing was kind of crazy for us, in the sense that we had to bag up over 500, like we didn't, but the inmates had to bag up over 500 of these Passover bags. Now, the very sad thing about the Passover bag was breakfast time. I think a lot of these inmates were thinking, because of last year, they were thinking they were going to get the same stuff, right? So they come in, Passover, they get their baggies, and they look in their baggies, and they're like, man, this bag is light. You know what I mean? So the complaints started coming in that they felt like they were missing that, this, and this. So let me tell you something. Breakfast for Passover, these boys got a banana, they got a small packet of coffee, they had some sugar in it. I think I said that banana was in there, was in there as well. And the job for the people high up in the facility, like lieutenants or whoever you want to call them, people, sergeants, whatever, COs too, were to go around the whole facility and pass out these matzah boxes, right? So the matzah bread, it's a dry cracker. Normally you get them through communion. If you ever been to church, you probably ate that dry bread and you drank the dang cranberry juice or whatever they gave you. Well, it's little dry bread and all that stuff, and every inmate got a box of those to last them a couple of days. And if I'm not mistaken, they got peanut butter at some point of the day. They got celery sticks for one part of the day, and I think another day they got either celery sticks and then carrots. Another day it was kind of like a flip-up thing. It was kind of like changed around a little bit. But anyways, their breakfast consisted of coffee, sugar, a banana, and their matzah. And that was basically, I think they might have got a packet of peanut butter, like a peanut butter squeeze packet, probably about like day big, like maybe 3 ounces of peanut butter. And that was it. And then whatever matzah they had left over in their dorm, in their cell that they ate, until I think the following week where they got more matzah or something like that, or a couple of days, something like that. I don't remember what it was. Anyway, though, so I know this is a long video, right? This is really a long video, 15-minute long video. Wow, y'all are like, I don't know, anybody's gonna watch this stuff, but hey, if you do watch it, hey, man, you should definitely be having popcorn and all that stuff ready for these videos when they're this long, if you ever watch them. This is like entertainment show now. This is like waste of your life almost, but it's to educate people who are going to be working in these places to know what you may run into when you work for these types of places, these times when these come around. They're all different, subject to change, may not happen, may happen, but you just never know. That's up to the spot. Anyway, so yeah, they had a very small bag, okay? And so the grievances were astronomical. These guys were ticked off. You had CEOs coming in there and said that the inmate didn't want this Passover bag and they wanted a regular tray. Here's the thing though, buds, okay? We decreased the number of portions we were making, right? So the portion sheet for our pull sheet for the facility was cut because we were now supposed to be not making a lot of food to cover the whole facility because the facility was cut down based on the number of inmates that were signed up for the Passover meal, right? So because now these inmates are like, well, butthurt, right? And they're like, man, I don't want this bag, I want a regular tray. Yeah, these CEOs are coming back and they're trying to get these bags exchanged for a regular tray. Well, we would run out of food, and then that's when you have a problem because you only make enough for the ones who didn't make it to the Passover sign up, or they didn't want to be on Passover because they wanted to eat regular trays. And so then with all these coming back and forth and the CEOs bringing back all these bags and saying they want 10, 20, 30 trays because the inmates don't want their bag, you now lose food, and you now have this problem where you could run out of food for the whole rest of the people that need to eat. So that being said, that was a thing, and that went on for, I believe, a week for Passover, and Ramadan, I think, was a week or two or something like that. And those are like some of the annoying parts of the year, and there's also, special holidays like Christmas and Thanksgiving, where these institutions maybe the food director may put together something special for the inmates to have, like turkey for Thanksgiving, and like yam and maybe green beans or something like that. But chances are you'll rarely ever find any of these institutions in America rarely ever serving any type of pork product at all. Mainly you're going to find chicken and turkey are going to be your food sources for the inmates to have to begin with. So anyway, though, that wraps up this episode here. I'm going to go now and hopefully find something clever to do with my life. And yep, that's it, bubs. See ya maybe in another episode. I'm glad I didn't waste too much of your life away and you're still alive out there. Bye, bubs.